ọmọ ọba ni kò ṣẹrú. ó wá sáyé ọmọ ọba ni kò ṣẹrú. ó wá sáyé kò ṣẹ̀wọ̀n.
ó yá akéde mo fẹ́ délé bàbá tó bí lọ́mọ.
ọmọ ọba ni kò
bàbá
ṣẹrú.
mi ò gbànígbà ní ojú ọ̀nà ó ṣe gbámú. òsán-gìrì la-gìrì ọ̀làgìrì kàkà.
ọmọ ọba ni
àkọ́kọ́
kò
arẹ́rẹ́
ṣẹrú.
bàbá mi ò wọ kẹfẹ́rẹ́ jẹjọ. jagunmọ́ lòdì ọ̀rọ̀ apá láti jó tọ̀hún tọ̀hún.
Deji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Since I can't hear you, but now I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I've been wondering, if everybody is on the studio and hear me. So I myself and I also put in David. Okay, there. I want you to
Yeah,
introduce
I saw
yourself
the
as part of
slide.
the host for this event. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
So
just
my
introduce
name is
yourself? Say hi to people here.
I am Ayodeji Folani, a Microsoft most valuable professional on data platform, a Microsoft certified trainer, MD CEO Gyre Computer Solutions, and a dashboard expert. I enjoy training and I've been training for several years, well over 20 years at the moment. And I've trained lots and lots of people across the
Okay.
globe. Thank you.
Deji. All of us will be um, looking at this special edition, which is a recap of what has happened for 6 months. We are using medium to say thank you to everyone that been part of our story since this movement started, and we all want to say big thank you to our sponsors, Microsoft especially, who have been the edge around this program. Now, as we said earlier, that this is just a recap. We're not going to. It's not the full blown event that we do every week. Rather, it's just a way by which we want to showcase our event. And there are two special people on board today. Both of them are actually in the axis of the northern side of Nigeria, and they have been doing spectacular things. And they also want to evolve in in this quest to make change to the grassroots. So we're bringing them on before we continue. But before we continue, we to also look at this guest, and we have two of them. Um, we have the first one, which is Mr. Philip. Is the CEO of Filian Travel and Service in Jos. It happens to be someone that started IT but eventually moved into logistic and travel agency. So, Mr. Phil, can you just introduce yourself? Um, who are you and what what do you do?
Okay, good evening,
You can.
Mr. Shea. And okay, the audio has been enabled. Am I audible enough now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Shea. Thank you so much for having me on this platform. I'm excited to be here. As he has said earlier, my name is Philip Gomdavo. I'm the CEO of Finian Travels and Services Limited. Yes, he equally said it right earlier when he said that I was, instructing computer applications before I went into travel business. I was an instructor of office suits for roughly about 5 years, before I went into the travel business. So the last program we had here in Jos, Microsoft Ignite, I believe has ignited me and has, ignited my passion for IT again. So once again, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. And we are not just going to bring Philip from the northern side. There's another person that very lady. She has been doing a lot, especially from Abuja, navigating to Jos, to Nasarawa. We also want to showcase her in this our special edition so that we can hear what they are doing in the northern side. Now, her name is Tabitha Iris. Tabitha, can you just tell us about yourself? Hello, Tabitha. Did you can hear Tabitha? I can't hear her from here.
No, I hear Tabitha at the moment. I can't hear her, please.
Okay. Okay. We wait for Tabitha to come on board and introduce herself. Maybe she's having network issue from the northern side. Let's just go on and before we two guests and really speak with them, try to ask them some questions. We don't know whether there's anybody in the audience that want to ask us question and what are the lines of question we are to get from you. Maybe you're new to IT world and you want to try to look at a way by which you can cut into this new digital era, especially the cloud technology, or you are thinking of changing career. Probably you are in the humanity, you are in the banking sector, and you're looking at how do I get in this new race into new platform. I have been there for a long time, especially computer engineering, but the cloud technology and the power of compute that has been injected into the system has brought about tremendous transformation across all digital era. So if you have questions on how you want to get in there, how you want to start, please just send those questions. We're going to ask those questions and we're going to answer that because it's a special edition where we case the northern side and also tell people on how they can get involved. The last thing we are hoping to get from is, do you need guidance on what to do? You can ask your question. We get the question across the host and also the guest. Now this vision stream started back early 2020 when we are looking at developing what we call connection. Here is individuals from of Africa can meet up the mentorship demand across across African continent, and especially starting from our own Nigeria here. How do we connect with people? How do we encourage and engage people to realize that they have a potential they can have? And we notice that most people that are very talented reside in the grassroots. Now, we're going to run through what we have done across the past 6 months. And we started this journey way back in July. Now, in July, we're able to initiate the African Master, and we come up with a tag called Technology Innovation for the Grassroots. And our main theme is that the grassroots is where we have the untapped. And the first guest obviously was me, and the co-hosts, both hosts were the first person that started this journey, and that is myself and David Okeyede. After that, we now move to July. Now, move to August. Now, in August, we have two dynamic person. Two of them are from the data platform, and we're able to talk to them on how do they start their journey from the data era. What are the things that is needed? What are the dynamics that is required, especially how they started and where they are today. And with that, we're able to invite two dynamic people, which one of them is one of our hosts today, Afolarin Deji. He was able to tell us his journey 22 years ago, how he got into IT, what are the things that motivated him in status. Then we also have one of a aspiring young data professional. His name was Chooks. We regularly call him Chooks. Chooks was able to tell us how he started. And to look at it, Choose was a banker. He was really in the banking era, banking environment rather, and he started his career that way. But when he looked at that time environment and he saw that in the data environment, he had a passion for analysis, business analysis, data analysis. He was able to move from the banking era and cut into IT. And we asked him what was his experience, and his experience, just like Deji, when we spoke with them in August, were able to energize people and make people to see that there's a reality having your passion and use that passion as a way to start your career. And that is great when we brought this guest. Now we to the next month in our September up. We are dynamic people. One, security environment. Someone that started from Ghana and he stayed in the UK. His name is they call him Kofi. Now we also brought in Michael Olufisi. Michael Olufisi is an MVP who also is in the space of data analysis, stock exchange management, and is vast in the knowledge of using data from Excel to Power BI to Power Platform, etc. He was also able to give us more insight how he started his career. Now, I can recap what he told us in September. One thing he told the viewer is that you need to relearn and to learn and to learn. You must not give up. For him, he liked looking at people like people that write books, people that is very critical in analysis. And because of that, it gave him a drive to be able to innovate himself. And that brought about the MVP badge he got. He's also MCT. Sarkophis tell us his own story. He started off when his dad gave him a computer, bought a computer and that computer was his toy. He was able to look into the computer, check the program, then his dive for security increased with time, and he was able to stay in that security environment till now. And the last person we looked at was, his name is Afeez Babatunde. Now, Afeez Babatunde also started a movement in Shaki in Oyo State. Now, presently, even today, they are having that event called ICT Summit, where from his passion for computing and data science, he was able to create a group from Oyo State. Oyo State is like 1,000 of kilometers from Lagos, where I say, and it's where it's actually running this event. It's the sub of Oyo State, showing us how passionate he is towards changing the life of people and reaching out to the grassroots. Now we move to October. Now October was just a time for all the women in tech, and we're able to bring about 4 of them to tell us their story, and each of them, their story tells us that they started off like everyone. They were not giving up because of their gender, and they were able to stay on course till they reached the peak of their career. And one thing one of the guests in October said, I'm talking of Laurel, she said, women are people, you don't just, you call them into opportunity. You don't wait for them to come, because we have few of the females in IT and we need to encourage them. And that was how October went, trying to encourage female, bringing them in. And in the October edition, we also have a co-host, which is Olana Ogbena. Olana currently is having vacation in the eastern side of Nigeria, and he was not able to join for the special edition. However, she sent her love, and the October edition was like a glamour of trying to how we can bridge the gap where we have between the women in tech and how to bring more people. then we're able to see there's a movement in the part of Nigeria, in Lagos, called textilers. Textilers are people who try to empower women. I was privileged to join them one of these days, and I saw they have superb ways of encouraging women, empowering them, and giving them things that they need to have in order to become great women when it comes to IT. Now, our last edition before this special edition, what we had in November, where we brought 4 different tech guys, and all of them said the same thing. They started off by starting rough, and they were able to stay on course by relearning and learn more from Ghana, Bernard from Ghana, we have Oladimeji from UK, and we have Ayo from Canada. These people, guys, that started way back from Nigeria, especially Lagos, and Sam and Bernard started from Accra, Ghana, and they were able to make their part in terms of technology, and they were able to get to the peak of their career, especially staying in course and doing everything. It's just a brief recap of where the journey of the Grassroot has started and where we are today. Deji, do you have any contribution on how far gone?
Yeah. Wow, so Sheyi, you've given a nice rundown of the activity very well. Yeah, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Yes, we can. Yes. We can hear you. We can hear you. Here.
Okay, so if you can hear me, you've actually given a nice summary of what that happened for the past 6 months. It's a nice one from day one, the last day of the event. So thank you, Sheyi. I think you've done a great job.
Okay. Now we're going to bring in our guests now, which we have introduced back then, and we're going to try to ask them. This is a special edition, so we're not going to take much of our time. We are hoping to finish by 6 p.m., but we want to know from them, what is their course of line? What are they looking at for the next 360 days in 2022? And how do they want to transform, especially tapping into the grassroots? So the first question we're going to ask is, they should tell us their story and what is their plan for mentorship in the northern Nigeria. Philip?
Okay. Thank you once again, Mr. Shea, and thank you for the question you've asked. Honestly, again, as I said earlier, the last program we had here in Jos has really ignited us. And now more than ever, we have seen the need, for our people here in the North to be introduced, and if possible, develop to become like some of you guys in Lagos. I mean, for Mr. Deji, he said earlier that he has been in this industry for roughly about 20 years. That's a lot of time. For us here in the North, to me, I think we have a lot of catching up to do, because honestly, we are backward. If not that you came, early this month, we wouldn't have known, how far, Microsoft has evolved. I mean, quite a number of the packages that you introduced us to be honest with you, it was when you came, we didn't know anything about some of those products. We use them, but we don't know that, they've been, that these things have evolved to what they are right now. So for us, just as I told you, even before this meeting, I have been, trusting God to have something that I can use to impact the youth around me. Because there are a lot of youth, graduates who are unemployed. especially in the city of Jos. I mean, people that I know, closely, that are not doing anything, and I know uh, some of them, are intelligent, and if given the opportunity to learn, this product, they will do very well. That I can guarantee you. Now, I have started something with them. We had our first meeting with them on the 17th of this month. That's last week, and I told them what I intend to do. Through the platform, we've created a WhatsApp group where we have been communicating, and then I shared with them my encounter with Mr. Sheyi and Mr. Deji, when they came to Jos, and I told them how much we can benefit, from what they are doing, and they are already excited and motivated, about the whole thing. So I believe that when we begin, our intention is to start with them and then have them replicate, whatever we're going to be teaching them. And when I shared the idea with Mr. Sheyi, he welcomed it and told me that he started something similar to what I'm thinking of doing with this young man. And when he shared that with me, I was excited and told me that this meeting will hold. I was even more excited, knowing that I will get to hear, from you. I mean, and then from everyone that is on this platform, which has already encouraged me. I mean, for what I've had from the inception of this initiative. I mean, to this very time, I've already been motivated. I'm going to share the same with them, and then I believe with your guidance, we'll be able to do something, for the youth.
If thank you, Mr. Philip. I don't know, Tabitha have not been able to connect yet, so we still to answer a question. Now, for what you said, there is a vacuum you have noticed in the northern side, and one of the vacuum is that people really they have the knowledge of Microsoft products, but they don't really know what is the changes that is happening, especially from the cloud angle, and how to tap into this from every aspect, whether it's the Power Platform, whether it's the Azure, whether it is the data environment. They are really not yet in this line um, of knowledge that you are looking at. So, can you tell us your plan now? If you are joining us, we are live, the last edition of Technology Innovation Pathway for Grassroots, and we are just having a recap of what we have done. And in there, we brought in two dynamic people. One is in the studio, one is yet because of technical issue. Now, what we're asking him is that what is his motivation? And he said his motivation because he has seen a gap in the north, and he felt that there should be a way to bridge this gap. And mentorship is a way to tap into the grassroots. Now, I don't know whether Mr. Did you have any question for you, but the next question I want to ask you is that what is just was 2 points you might not be able to all, but 2022 for the grassroots movement in the side of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. All right. For me personally, I'm thinking of starting by developing myself, and if possible, sit off the professional exams. I mean, what I'm trying to say in essence is that I want to start by equipping myself, and I've given myself a time limit that between now and the end of February, I should develop myself, fit enough to sit for perhaps starting with entry 6.5 to get certified. That will give me the requisite knowledge on how to reach this young man. But in the interim, if you allow me, just as I told you, for the people that I have already, shared this idea with, told them that we're going to be having regular meetings.
Mm. Mm. Okay, I think we're having a technical issue from Philip. Now, if I can recall what he said one of the plan is for him, he started way back IT, but later moved into logistic and the air travel, and he has been there for years, and um, hopefully he has been doing well in that particular industry. But when we he saw what we are doing on the mentorship, he now want to dive back into that particular arena. And in his view, so the first thing he needs to do is to get back, despite the fact he owns his own business, he wants to get back into IT and get certified. Now you can see he wants to lead by example, and that is a great way for which a mentor can mentor the mentee. And that shows us that there is no time that is too um, too far or too near for you to have certification. If you are there and you are looking at getting into IT, just like Philip, you just need to brace up for 2022 and ensure that you put yourself in the wave knowledge, in the wave of learning, and ensure that you have one of the certification done. And we have a lot of Microsoft land where you can get free content that can help you to do that. So Philip is back. I was just recapping what you said so that people viewer out there can hear and understand what you were saying. You can take it up from there. From your plan, you said you want to get yourself certified, and that is leading people. Also, you also want to crave a continual interaction with the first set people you want to. What Philip is to have a number of people that is going to bring, like way of motivating them, training them, exposing to more of this information, and once they have gotten in tune with lead them through certification. I hope I've been able to recap what you meant, but you can go on if you have any other thing you want to say. Hello, Mr. Phil.
Yeah, that's basically what I was trying.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Okay, sorry, I don't know what happened to my network. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Did you
Sorry,
have any other
I
thing you
don't.
want to say?
No, basically that's what I was trying to communicate.
Did
I
you
think
hear me?
you've reiterated it very well.
Okay, good. There is another. Now, you have seen you and the North, and you have seen several things that we cannot see. Most people see Nigeria in the eyes of Lagos and in the eyes of maybe Abuja, but there are other states and Port Harcourt, and we have other states in
Yeah,
Nigeria,
that's true.
especially the northern side. The youth has been there have been so many struggle in the northern side, especially with the killing, the massacre, and this has brought fear. And you have in mind and a vision that I don't know. Can you just give us what you are seeing as what the world would be like in the north with this your mentorship program?
Oh,
Can you hear
well,
me?
you, you said it. Honestly, seeing Nigeria of Lagos. Yes, I can hear you. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Philip, we can hear you loud and clear now.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear.
All right. Thank you. You said something.
Yeah,
The truth is that seeing Nigeria in the light of Lagos, I think is is erroneous. The truth is that we are backward in terms of IT in the north. And again, if you recall what I said earlier, that to us, what you introduced us to was quite strange. It's not that you came to just, a couple of weeks ago, we wouldn't have, been exposed to what you guys are doing in Lagos. If Jaws is this backward, how much more of the corners? I know it's going to be worse than our situation here. But to answer your question, uh, I believe that now that we've started this in a very because the one thing I know about the Northerners is that they are self motivated and are people on jumping, ideas that they consider viable. And we have already seen the viability of this, which I believe is enough to motivate as many people as will be able to reach out, to share, some of these, to mute the idea of learning some of these products. I believe they will be in a hurry to join us. So within the very limited time, I believe you will see a lot of people from the north, going for certification.
okay. Thank you. I hope you can hear. I also want to bring Dido Kennedy have joined us. He's my co-host. I think I brought him out from from his we're in the holiday season and we just have to do the last and I
Yeah,
think Tabitha has also joined us again. Tabitha, you're
yeah,
welcome.
Tabitha is here.
So there's a question we have here, which is emphasizing on how do you want to realize this dream you have for the North, especially the female side. You have been talking on how you couple people together, bring people together, give them some mentorship for months, expose them to technology and train them, expose them to, and set them on the path of certification. Now, I don't know what you have in mind for the northern female or generally for the youths in the north. Abita, can you hear us?
Okay. Good evening. Yeah. Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
I don't know whether we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good
Good
evening. We can
evening.
hear you, Tabitha.
Okay, that's fine. So,
Yes.
okay, just like Mr. Sheyi, everyone has said about the North, there've been a lot of challenges and everything, but we also discovered that most people in the North too, most of them have been financial fact that they are not really being exposed to some of these. So I believe that with that is being provided and that them, we believe that there will be a lot of positive changes. After the last we've had, we had a lot of people that are coming house step certified in the north right now, and also trying to take advantage of the online courses and also giving themselves targets. I know that it's going so much changes. And then now for the women, so started a women community in the north and already have people joining us. We from Plateau State. We already have people joining us from Kaduna, Nasarawa, and we know soon to we'll get people from the corn north too. And then we believe believe that what we've started with the educating and people on the on we also that we
Okay.
have it can take to replicate that we're trying to. Can you hear me?
Mm. Um,
It
yeah,
broke a little
we
bit,
lost it
but
for some time, but yeah, but
Okay.
but generally, what dream is that a way by which that can be breached when it comes to. You also emphasize that there's a women movement now. Have core northern states that have joined this movement, and you mentioned Nasarawa, Kaduna, and as I most people see Nigeria in the eyes of Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, but we have 36 states, and the essence of this movement is not just to be localized to
Yes.
Lagos, to ensure that we get to every other part, and that's why we've showcased these two dynamic people, wonderful people. One of them is Collins. He's not on this call today, but they really had the dream and they are motivated to make change to the north Nigeria, which has been ravaged with war, with killings, with militants, and most youth are taking arms. And to them, they saw that there's a way by which we can de-emphasize this violence by encouraging them to use technology and find themselves to make better person of themselves. So I don't know whether David or DJ have any question for two of them.
yeah, let Mr. Deji go first.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just thought it's very, very interesting. It's because it's part of what Mr. Shea, you've been saying all along, which is that um, the talent that can really have the level of impact that all of us wants to happen in Nigeria, in West Africa, are really in the grassroots, right? So they are not
Yeah.
just like in the main cities, which is where a lot of focus are. They are actually like in the grassroots because that's where we have like the core of the problems that needs to be solved, right? So it's very, very interesting to see how people like Mr. Philip, people like Tabitha have just taken on the call and are just having an impact. So I just want to say it's really, really impressive. Great work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so what I just have
Thank
to
you.
say is that,
So
guys, Tabitha, Mr. Philip, you are doing a great job. But the media, despite what we
Thank
listen
you.
to daily on the media, we still find people like you taking extra effort to do what is right. Keep it up, guys. That's nice.
okay.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
The last question
Deji.
I want to ask you guys is, where is your passion coming from? Now, there's a lot of war. There's a lot of despite the fact that the rulership, the government of the day comes from the north, we see a lot of things that is happening in the north, which we experience firsthand. That we are shocked that despite all the power, but the grassroots are really way back behind. Because I tell you, that was my experience with someone that when I asked, you know anything about Microsoft products, and all he's telling me is Microsoft Office, Corel Draw, and that is all he knows about technology. And when we now brought Power Platform, Azure, we also brought in M365. They saw a new dimension to technology, which most of them see from a distance.
Hmm.
Now, what is your passion coming from, Mr. Philip? And we also ask that how will you use this passion to ensure that this thing meets the needs of the Northern?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shea. If you recall, I told you that I taught office suits, for a while, for about 5 years, in a formal computer institute. And for me, I just love, imparting knowledge. Apart from that, I've done so many other things that are not related to IT. But, considering what people can make out of IT is my passion now. We have a lot of young people, intelligent, graduates who are doing nothing. These are people I believe, if exposed, to this knowledge, they should be able to do something of themselves. And then reach out to even their immediate families. So to us, enough for some of these people, we have tried in the past to help them with the limited resources we have. I remember, when I started my business, I had partners, not because I needed all of them, but because these are people I know needed some money. So I brought them until I was advised not to make my business a charity organization. To me, this is an opportunity where I can actually get these people, involved, where I can help them and then, get them, to use the knowledge to make something out of themselves. Hello.
Yeah, hello. I think that Mr. DJ dropped off. So let's. Sorry, Mr. Sheyi.
Mr.
Sorry.
Sheye.
Yeah, no, Mr. DJ. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, so sorry, I have a question for Mr. Philip and Tabitha.
Since my network.
My question is the funding. What you guys are doing is amazing. I keep asking myself, how do you get this funding? How do you get this support? Because without money, you might not be able to go far. But guys, what you are doing is amazing. So how do you drive this? Where is the fund coming from? Tabitha.
Okay, thank you for that. So that's to look at, because when you're trying to, as much as we are passionate about trying to change our community, to do that, so needs a call. Over now with all, I want to partner with all to make these youth and by these and
Oh, I think we can barely hear Tabitha. I'm not sure if everybody else is getting the same thing.
I thought it was my network. So
oh, okay, no, so we can barely hear Tabitha. Tabitha, I'm not sure, something with the internet connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to hear what Tabitha is really explaining.
The network is really bad.
Yeah.
It's actually breaking up. And I would have.
Yes, I think it's the network. It's the network. But to answer your question, Mr. DJ, it's difficult to get people to sponsor, events such as the one we had here in Jos a couple of weeks ago. We had to just, try and task ourselves to be able to, pull it off. Tabitha, most of the money for that, came from Tabitha's pocket. So even though we are still considering reaching out to people, we feel that consider this, viable to want to sponsor, you know, and what we intend to do, for the next event, is to plan well ahead of time so that we can, reach out to people, for sponsorship. But to be honest with you, you hardly get funding for such events. You go to the politician, the first question they ask is, how is it going to benefit us? If it's not going to benefit them directly, most of the time they don't want to support. Sometimes they just make promises and then that is it. But with the limited resources we had, we're able to pull off the last event, and we're not going to wait for them. We're not going to wait. We are hopeful that support will come from them when we reach out to them, because our people need to be exposed, to this knowledge. We are backward here in the north, and we have to, pull together whatever we have, to make these things happen.
Thank you. So, David, over to
Yeah.
you.
That is a very, very interesting one in terms of like the challenges
So
that.
is
Oh, hello, Mr. Sheyi, are you there? Yeah. So
yeah,
I said that's a
I'm
very,
here.
very interesting one in terms of the challenges,
Mm,
which about funding that Mr. Deji brought up, and in
mm,
terms of how to get this well funded, how to make sure that it's something that's able to be continuous, it's something that's able to carry on and growing and developing. It has like a base to build from.
mm.
So that's a very, very interesting challenge, and I think it's one that everyone at the end of the day, whatever everyone can do, everyone will need to come together to find a
Mm.
way to just make things work, right, and make things have impact. So it's a very interesting one. I'm not sure if you've asked this before I joined. So is there like any interesting story from like maybe one of the people that's been involved in this community that you're working to build? An interesting story that you can share with us about the story of maybe anyone that came into the community, and now you're seeing them beginning to take what you're learning from the community and they're beginning to use it in the community or in the society. Are you beginning to see any of that? Or is it still too early in terms of the build stage?
Okay, I think
Yep.
Hello, can
let
you hear
me let me respond to that.
Yeah.
me? Okay.
Yes, Tabitha, we can hear
And
you. Do you want to
yeah,
do
we
you
can
want
hear
to
you now,
respond to his
Tabitha.
question?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. 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 If you can hear me, then
Yeah, so we can hear you,
let's say.
Tabitha. Give it a shot.
So after the boot camp, I have like number of people that have come to meet us, that they are working on some project already to see the boot camp in
Oh,
university. The conversation, it's good interest about what they have been motivated to do after that, after the whole camp. I got more than 5 different people, instructors, to be able to teach others. We also have the last week I had a meeting, said they are already trained and they want to see if we can have train the trainers events early next year, where people get to know this and how how we can take this to also corporate organizations after being certified, and quite the response has been really interesting and impressive. So
Wow, that's amazing. Even though I can I only was able to pick out a few things from what you said, but from what I heard, people are beginning to take interest in learning these technologies, and then also you're not only taking interest in learning the technology, you're taking interest in being able to take what they've learned and then being able to replicate that in others in the community, which is amazing, right? And I think that's very interesting story that we need to start thinking about how we can sort of like shine a light, right? Just shine a light on those types of stuff and just bring it out to the open to let everyone see the amazing things that's going on. Maybe shining a light on it, making it visible to, on the level of things like Microsoft on a national level, and just making it visible for everyone to see that there is impact being made, right? And that's just such a powerful thing. Mr. Shayi, Mr. Did you any comment about that?
Yeah, so that's a nice one. So at least is something that is gladdening to see that people are already picking up this technology and they are taking it to the next level. So the institution, the University of Jos, doing something great, and also individuals, group coming together. I'm opportunity to be in one or two WhatsApp group that they form, and I saw the passion, and I found that they are working towards a product. So that is a drive. So that's awesome.
Hey, well, it's great to know, and that shows that we might work with you from the grassroots innovation parts, especially for all the you plan to do for next year. We still need to communicate and see how we can collaborate with you, ensure that all these plans and dreams are realized. Open to that, and we work in every way to work for you, Tabitha, and also for Philip on his own grassroots drive through the corporate
thank
environment.
you.
Want to briefly take a break, and that break, we plan that we finish, but just we want to recap happen in Innovation Corner, and we started this grassroots movement July, which I've recapped earlier. Now, the Innovation Corner is where we bring people that have done something spectacular to reach out to the grassroots, just like what you and Philip is doing in the North. Then we showcase them and we allowed people to know. And we started off in September. Now, in September, there's this dynamic guy called Shea Davis. He was an MCT, and his own drive is to provide cloud skill, and his target is to technical training environment in Nigeria. We are talking of the polytechnic students and also the College of Education. So he is from one of the states, Kogi State. Is part of the 36 states in Nigeria, and his vision is to ensure that these people are also empowered from the polytechnic. As they are going out from the polytechnic, there will be skill from the M365 to be able to address issue and to be able to use that skill for their own empowerment, for their own career drive, and the rest. And that was what we showcased, and we were excited about what he's doing. And we encourage him that we also want to collaborate with him in making this happen. Then in October, in Innovation Corner, we brought another person, and this time, lady, her name is Aderunke Adeboye Onikwede. She runs this NGO called One Child, One Care Initiative here in Lagos. And she's an engineer. She studied engineer, but because of what she's seen in our own environment, she looked at some developing area in Lagos area where people don't really going to. And started the move of getting awareness, showing that this heat
Oh,
and showing power and
oh,
partner
your internet connection is
with
really
them.
breaking, Mr. Sheyi.
These are all what she was doing.
Hello,
Then in
hello, Mr. Sheyi. Sorry, your internet connection is really breaking.
middle of this year, to get the end of this, she looked at other ways to empower. She talk of IT and IT actually change the way and empowering them, giving them the ability to what to have skill that can be used, and that is what she did. And she started with a training. You know, if you remember, has this training that is given out where is you bridge digital literacy. Oh, um, can you see my? Can you see my?
Yes, Sheyi, we can see your screen, but we can't hear you clearly. It's breaking up.
Yep. So yeah, so your voice is breaking a lot. So I can go ahead and just describe that. So yeah, so let me see that. Hello, okay, yeah, I think the internet connection is really, really bad. So yeah, so essentially what Mr. Sheyi was saying was we have the innovation corner, which is where we try to highlight the work of people that are doing amazing things in the community. A lot of times when people talk about community work, they talk about community work from
If
yeah, so people talk about community work from the perspective. Oh, I think Mr. Sheyi's stuff is breaking. So let me go ahead and remove that for now. So people talk about community work from a just discussion perspective. So what the innovation corner is meant to do is to highlight actual effects, effect of community work, and to show outstanding things that people are doing in the community. I think a few months ago we had Tabitha in the innovation corner, and we've had amazing people come, and we've showcased their amazing contributions in the community, and we've showcased that to the community, and that's what we try to do in the innovation corner. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and move on to like the next aspect of this. So let's go on let's go to the next aspect of that. So I think that the next thing that we're going to do is let's see. We're meant to have Mr. Oh, okay, sorry. Let me bring Sheyi back in. Hello, Sheyi. Are you back now?
yes, I'm back. So I
Yeah,
don't
so
know what
this is
happened
better
to
now.
my network.
Yeah,
What happened to
internet
my
was really bad.
network?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. And after this, we're going to run through, a video where we have all our mentors. I think I've shared my screen. you help me to put it?
Yes, let's
Is
do
it
that.
shared? Can you see?
No, it's not shared.
Can you
Okay,
just
shared now. Yes, awesome.
okay? Just help me to put it back.
Yes.
So I was talking of our innovation corner, and I mentioned someone doing great thing in the light of powering um, teenager from the year of 12 down to 17, and our vision was to look at where people don't reach, and it started this move called One Child, One Care initiative. Now, the partnership he had with Microsoft was to be able to deliver what we call digital literacy, uh, running with the Microsoft program, where Microsoft said by 5 years' time they want to empower 3 million Nigeria to have digital knowledge. So she was able to launch on that, and she created. She brought some teenager from Grassroot, and they were able to go. And these are all just from various environments in that vicinity where she started her innovation. Now, the last thing we brought in the innovation corner is in November, where we brought uh, a dynamic guy called Afis Babatunde Zakaria. Now, Zakaria in Okeogun and in
I think we lost Mr. Oh, I think we lost the internet connection again. Yeah, it's one of those things. So while we're waiting for the internet connection to come back on, let me just go ahead and just throw this question in here. So for Tabitha, and also maybe Mr. Deji can also contribute to this. So what's the hope? What's the future for internet connectivity? For fast internet connectivity, what's the what's the hope and the future for that?
Yeah, well, for now, I at least 2022 is very, very hopeful. The
Mm,
federal government, they actually working seriously towards that.
mm,
So the the NCC, they also working seriously towards that. So
mm,
the 5G and also having a network penetration across all parts of the country, they are working towards that. I
mm,
just hope that this will not just be a verbal action,
mm,
that we want to really see the action
mm,
live and direct
mm.
on all our devices. So,
Yeah.
but I know the federal government, they'll be talking about it. The few weeks, for the past 2 weeks, it has always been the top of tech in the country. So let's
Mm,
just hope that this will come out very well.
mm, mm. Awesome. Awesome. And is this something so because here's a very interesting one. So I still remember like because I'm based in UK at the moment, and sometimes in the past I've always tried to have like video call with my parents, and it's never been successful. However, this last Christmas I was surprised that I was able to do a video call with them and everything went smoothly. And I was like, okay, is it that things are developing in certain areas of the country, but certain areas are still catching up, or things like that? Maybe that's probably what's going on here.
Most likely, like you already said, in some parts of the country, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt,
Mm,
those are like the economic hub. If
mm,
any new thing will come up, expect those areas to first tap into it.
mm,
And if you are discussing with somebody in those areas, you don't have problem. But remote areas, then you still have those challenges
mm.
until it's finally rolled out. So I know Tabitha, we have something to say to this.
Yeah, so for example, I'm looking at Tabitha's internet connection and it's showing as just one bar. Just one bar, it says one, it's actually 0/10 that it's showing. And now
Oh
it's
my
7/10. So it's like bouncing between a 0/10 and 7/10. So which is really, really sad. We
yes,
need we
it
need
is.
we need fast internet connection as quickly as possible
It is.
to be able to showcase like amazing things that people are doing. Okay, I think Mr. Deji should be back now. Sorry, Mr. Sheyi should be back now. But Mr. Sheyi's internet connection is also showing
Yes.
at 0/10. But I'll hand over to you.
I, I don't know what's happening today, but the next thing we need to do, maybe you should just take over, is to showcase our mentor, play the video, then you wrap up. We wrap up with the two guests, and we call it a day.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and see the video for our mentors. So the whole point of showcasing this is if you see any one of the mentors that working in certain areas that you're interested in, or maybe they are located in an area that's close to you, just make a note of their name. So if you're watching the recording of this video, just make a note of their name, go over to LinkedIn and search for their names and reach out to them and try to connect, right, to them. And then that way, again, we can keep the community going and keep people connected to one another. So let's go ahead and see the videos of the community mentors. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back. So hopefully you are able to view that information. So I think what we'll do is that we'll just have a final question for our guest for today, and then we'll round things up. Let me just check. Mr. Sheyi, are you there? Mr. Deji, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, and we still have Tabitha and Mr. Philip. Are you both there? Also,
Yeah.
can you hear us? Awesome, awesome. So let's have the final question for today, and then we can talk. We can go rest for the rest of the day. So here is the final question for you, and this is regarding. So let me bring this up in terms of let's see. So this is a very interesting question. So if you were to be giving an advice to someone that's starting right now in tech in your area, in Nigeria, in West Africa, what's the advice that you give to them? What advice would you give to someone that's looking to get started into tech? They're listening to what you're saying. They're seeing that technology is a key part of the economy of the now and economy of the future. What advice would you give to them? So I'll let either Philip or Tabitha decide, whoever wants to go first.
Okay, so let me go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if I'm to advise anyone to go into like it's not too late, because like a lot of people are just they feel like so much has come from where would they start from. You just you just try to focus on, let me see, I am a customer strategist, and when I started going to that, I had to now look at what area will that benefit my career. Looking at Power Platform, I know okay, virtual it's something that can improve my client and customers experience. So that's what I just try to focus on, and it's quite easy when you go through that because you already have a basic knowledge of what you're already doing. So it's just you'll be able to go through it, you'll be able to just adopt and understand what is happening than just trying to like okay, there's just so much, where do I want to start from or anything. From there now, then you can grow into, you can decide to, when you perfect that, you can decide to divert to other tech too as time goes on, but it's not too late. And just start what are you doing right now, and then look at these platforms. Where do you think your career starts with that?
That's so powerful. So if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, Tabitha, what you're saying is um, look at what you're inclined to already and begin to
Yeah.
see how you can apply technology to that first. And then
Yes.
from there, now begin to see how you can expand your interest into other areas.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
that's so powerful. That's so powerful. Mr. Deji, Mr. Shea, any comments on that before I let Philip also answer that? That's so powerful. Any
Well,
comments on that?
Thank you.
that's a nice
Thank you.
one. So our approach is start from your comfort zone. Look at the example she gave. She's into customer relation, and she pick a technology that can benefit a, a line, and from there she start expanding into some other things, other opportunity around. That's a great one. It's awesome. So I think I've learned something. So always tell people to start from their comfort zone. Great.
That's so powerful. Yeah, thanks very much for that, Tabitha. That's very awesome. So, Mr. Philip, will give you the last word on that. So, what would you advise if you were speaking to someone who is going into tech in your area? What would you advise them to say? Here's how you go about getting started.
All right. Thank you for the question. I will advise the person to start with the basics. If especially if the person is new, a novice in IT, I will advise that he should start with the basics. He should basics of if he's going for any of the Microsoft products, I will advise the person because it will surprise you to know there are people who don't even know how to use the computer system. I mean, people who don't know how to use tools, in Windows, for instance. So I will ask the person, if the person is a complete novice, he should start from there. Use Windows, learn how to create folders, files using programs like Notepad, user, and all that before he begins to go to the more advanced, applications, Excel. I mean, have the general should form, the basis for whatever he's going to be focusing on. I mean, you need to begin, from the foundation. So I will advise the people to start from there. Then from there, use based on interest and then maybe area of strength. Choose the application, to his or herself on, to become an expert. So that's basically going to be my advice.
Awesome. So interesting. So what you're saying is, don't jump too far ahead. Start with the foundation. Make sure that you get the foundation properly, and then you have something that you can build on. Wow, that's so interesting. Cool. So yeah, Mr. Sheyi, Mr. Deji, any comment on that before we go ahead and wrap up for today?
Oh, you've said it all, and Mr. Philip has literally said it all. Start from the fundamental, from the basics. So that the foundation, if the foundation is faulty, then what do you expect of the building? Thank you.
Awesome. So thanks very much. I just want to use this opportunity to say thanks very much to our guest again. Thanks very much to the amazing organizers. Also, thanks very much for coming to share your knowledge and your passion to impact your communities. So what you're doing is not going unnoticed, right? What you're doing is being noticed. It's having an impact. It's such a joy to connect with like-minded people like you that are passionate about your community. You cannot just stay silent with what you've learned. You've got to use it to impact your community. And personally, I'm looking forward to the fruits of what you're doing in the next 3-4 years. People coming back and saying, I attended that event that was set up by Tabitha and Philip, and that set me on the path to technology. Now I'm the product manager for building this amazing product that's going to change our way of life in Nigeria. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Mr. Deji, Mr. Sheyi. Yeah. So over to you, and then we can round up.
Yeah, so thank you guys. Thank you, Tabitha. Thank you, Philip. Today's section is a wonderful one. So I've actually learned 1 or 2 things about the foundation and starting from your comfort zone. So thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks very much again, everyone. So we're going to be having next event advertised on Meetup. So speak to you, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely rest of the day and have a lovely week. And see you all in the next year. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Sáyé ọmọ ọba ní kò ṣẹrú ó wá sáyé kò ṣẹ wọn.
Ó yá akéde mo fẹ́ délé bàbá tó bí lọ́mọ.
Ọmọ ọba ní kò ṣẹrú.
Bàbá àgbà ògbànìgbà ní ojú ọ̀nà ó ṣe gbám. Kò sán gírí lágírí ọ̀la gírí kàkà. Àkókò àrẹ́rẹ́ rẹ̀ bàbá mi ò wá kẹfẹ́ lé jù jọ. Jagunmọ́ lòdì ọ̀rọ̀ apá láti